Hey guys, welcome to the deep dive. Now, just as a reminder, if you like this content where we dive deep into different stocks and their background and go through their charts bar by bar, please subscribe and like below and let people know. Now, today we're going to be looking at a corporation called the Acacia Research Corporation. So let me switch my screen over. ACTG, Acacia Research Corp. Now, they had a awesome move that started early in 2009 and went up through for a couple years. Now, as far as what they actually do, that was kind of hard to find. Their description here intends to acquire undervalued businesses primarily in technology, life sciences, industrial, and financial service segments in the United States. Company also invests in intellectual property and related absolute return assets, as well as engages in the licensing and enforcement of patented technologies. Kind of unclear. Incorporated in 1993, and they're based in New York. When I read that, it was like, okay, they're specialty business services. What do these guys do? So I looked around. I ended up looking through their old 10Qs and stuff like that. And what I finally found was during this 2010 period was an earnings transcript here. And this kind of tells us what they do. So they have portfolios of patents, and they work on licensing and basically kind of renting out those patents. So you can see here, the recent expansion of our business is a direct result of Acacia building a great track record of patent licensing combined with the growing interest of major multinational companies in monetizing their patent assets. And I think this line down here is kind of key. A number of companies are deciding that it may make more sense to structure business agreements to become an ongoing customer rather than a repeat defendant, and are beginning to view Acacia more as a clearinghouse for in-licensing activity. So this is from 2010, their earning call transcript, so right around when we're looking at. So really what I think they're doing is they're basically a house full of, they're not... This isn't the type of business that, you're selling lemonade or something like that. These guys are taking advantage of the system. They're probably have lots of lawyers on staff. They're using patents, suing if people are using their patents illegally, licensing out those patents for fees. And so they're just kind of wheeling and dealing within the system around patents for technology, just all kinds of things that are murky and we probably don't really even know about. Now, these days, they say, that they just acquire undervalued businesses with a primary focus on technology, life science, industrial, and certain financial services. So these days, who knows? Maybe they're not still doing that. They still say that they're, pursuing opportunities in, they still say that they engage in licensing and enforcements of patent technologies, but they're kind of a closed box. And if you look at their stock today, it's pretty low. It's around 3. So, maybe they're not doing much these days, but I wanted to give you just a little bit more background on them because they're not like a straightforward biotech or a straightforward semiconductor manufacturer or something like that. These guys are a little bit more shady. So this is what we're dealing with. In 2009, you can see that they got hit pretty badly from the 2008 financial crisis. They bottomed out in October, and so this is kind of interesting from a relative strength standpoint. The market didn't bottom until March in the 08-09 crash, but these guys actually bottomed earlier. They bottomed back in late October, late November, and they actually made up a higher low here. So might have given you some indication that these guys were getting some buying action underneath the hood. So let's start from here. You can already see it has some nice patterns. This is trading very orderly. I would give this right here like a 7 or 8 out of 10 on the orderly scale. Our ADR is 5, 6. Back here it was 8, 13, 14. So they were really volatile in here. But this is actually starting. This is looking like a great stock right off the bat. This really nice orderly period here on this huge volume. Because it's 09, we're not going to get to go back and use the on-demand feature in Thinkorswim, and also we don't really get earnings before 2012. So we're going to have to rely on the earnings from Thinkorswim, which are often wrong, and I kind of have them written down here so that we can tell what the percentage gain will be, and we'll calculate those out as they come. So let's see. Yep, we're recording. Let's start going through it. All right. So we had this nice consolidation there. Maybe a little bit closer. Here we go. Nice consolidation here. Breakout. This big volume bar here on this day in 626.09. Not sure what happened there, but huge volume there, which is kind of skewing all the volume. We can't really see it because of that big, huge bar. But let's start going. We're riding. All the moving averages are set up really nicely for a higher trending stock. So let's just start going and see what happens. Yeah, this thing is already setting up really nicely. I mean, this is tight. This is a 15 bar flag here. You could definitely buy over 934. I mean, we're riding this 20 period moving average. So let's do that. 934, let's buy. Man, getting super tight. Gonna move my buy down to 925. All right, we're coming down. I'm keeping my buy order in. All right, we're coming down to the 50. All right, we're breaking lower. So let's cancel that buy order, see if... okay, it's coming back into range. All right, we got earnings coming up on this next day. This is not a bad sideways action. I mean... We've been going sideways now for almost 66 bars, 3 months. So let's see what happens on the earnings day. We gap down, but rally up. The earnings was negative 16 cents, and that was in October. All right, earnings are definitely not looking good. Negative 0.6 cents, negative 8 cents, negative 9 cents, negative 16 cents are the last 4 earnings. Let's keep going. Obviously, there's something happening underneath the hood because, yes, the earnings look bad, but the stock is still looking trendy. All right, we're coming down. We're getting towards the end of the year. Underneath all the moving averages, but the 200 still coming down. And that was just an interesting move. We just kind of went all the way up through the moving averages, didn't really pause, didn't get much resistance there. Have these weird topping tails here, so something's going on. Yeah, we're definitely going higher. I mean, this was almost like nine up days in a row with a couple sideways days in between there. This is just so orderly. I mean, this is just beautiful, isn't it? I mean, just how it's trading. It's not choppy. It's not craziness. We've now gone sideways now for quite a while. So, I mean, I think, I'd really like to see a sideways day or two here and buy over like 950 or something like that. Let's see if we get it or if it just blasts off. It's just going to blast off. Yeah, we did make new highs there. Pulled back, sideways day, coming down. So this might be good, actually. If we can hit that 10, maybe we can find an entry here. So I like this. Now this looks like, maybe this little flag, this is like a mini flag here you'd probably see on the hourly, but really it's within this larger base. So I want to buy at new highs. Like I want to buy a breakout over 978. All right, still have my order in. Okay, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Coming back down. Wow, still, okay, 200. Now, hitting the 200, this might be the catalyst that it needs to really blast off. And you can see, man, it's plowing up through those moving averages. So, man, if we can just get some sideways movement right above here, we might be set. Come on. Okay, we got earnings the next day. Huge sideways action. I mean, if we get an earnings up here, like definitely going to buy it for an EP. All right, so earnings was flat. It went lower and then closed higher. After an earnings report, one thing I find is a stock kind of gets loosened up a little bit. Like it gets more volatile after an earnings report. So if it was really tight beforehand, afterwards, it's like the news is out. It can move up. It can move down. So I want to put a buy order at like 958. And just, let's see, this was February. Actual earnings were 15 cents, negative 15 cents. So that's not good. The previous quarter was negative 6 cents, and now it's negative 15. Excuse me. Excuse me. So that's not great. Those earnings are down big time, negative 6 to negative 15 cents. But this stock is super holding up. Yeah, I'm still buying at 958. Did I say? There we go. All right, that is a breakout. New highs, 958. First day. Let's see how it treats it. If it can run, if it can stop doing these, because each little period here has been accompanied by just down moves after a strong run. This one especially looked like it was breaking out there and then came right back in, hit the 200. So maybe we're ready. Let's see. All right. So the next day is going to be the third day. I'm going to take off 30% at the close. Okay, so it closed right at the highs, right around $10. So that would have been a small winner. What did we buy at? We bought it like $9.48. So I mean that's not bad. 50-cent winner. Let's move our stop up. We didn't say an original stop, but this big breakout candle is going to be a good stop for underneath it. So our stop's at this low of 918. So we're looking pretty good. Let's see. We're off 30%. So I want to get off another 20% in a couple days here. All right. At the open, I'll get rid of my second 20% and I'm going to trail the last 50. Very nice. So it opened at 1041. And man, this thing is just so orderly. This is just a beautiful stock to trade. Just going to trail it with the 10. Or should we trail it with the with the 20? Let's give it a little bit more space. Let's trail it with the 20. It looks like it's respecting the 10 though, for sure. The 20's catching up. All right, we hit the 20. We're bouncing. This would have been our exit if we'd had trailed with the 10. So let's remember that 1060 or so would have been out of that half of the position. Let's see if the 20 does better for us. Ooh, 20 did not do better. 10.05 on that second half. So really, most of our exit was right around 10, and then we got a little bit off at 10.45. The 10 would have been, the 10 MA would have been better to trail it with. We would have gotten about 50 cents more. But let's see if we can set up a flag or some kind of consolidation here to get a re-entry. All right, that was the entry on that. That was a very short flag, 15 bars. Not very short. I've seen shorter. Let's see if we can get a pullback entry at like 1065 with a stop below this big bar, 1006. Did we get it? Below 1081? We did not. Low 1065. All right, we got it. Let's say we got filled. 1065 at the low of that day. That would have felt good, by the way. Stop down below here. Let's see if we can get, because we're technically getting in on the third day of the breakout. So let's see if we can get maybe an exit on the next day at, let's put it at close to the high, 1033. Let's exit 50%. Nope. Yikes. We're still in, but we're in trouble. We're at 10. We're basically at break even. We're at 1060. What should we do? We are right on the 20. We're right below the 10. The safe thing to do would be to get out of some at the open, just to lighten the load, because this breakout is not working. And it's probably going to come down here to stop us out. So let's get rid of 50% at the open. I mean, it feels bad if this thing takes off, but I think that's the safe move. All right, so we're out of 50%. at 1061. So we have 50% position on. Let's move our stop up to like 1025 instead of 1009. So that break even on the first half. So basically we have half position on. We'll just see what happens. All right, we're going up. Yeah, all right. I mean, it felt bad to exit on this day, but really, most stocks will go down and stop you out at the low of this big bar. They'll stop you out and then blast higher. So the fact that this didn't shows that there is an inordinate amount of strength in this stock. So made new highs, pulled back from there. I'm trailing it with the 10 this time. If we close below the 10, I'm out. All right, so I'd be out this day. Close 1098. So maybe like a 40-cent winner on that second one. So 2 winners under our belt. The second one, not that great, but yeah, this is going well so far. All right, earnings the next day. Let's see what happens. Nice. Now, I don't know if this would be a beautiful EP to get. I mean, gapping up over this huge long range. I don't know if it would have worked out. It looks like, it opened at 1392 and it had a low of 1371. I don't know if that happened in the first couple minutes and then you could buy and be good. But let's assume we had an EP on this. Actual earnings were 55 cents versus estimates of negative 4 cents. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good growth. The April before was negative 8 cents to positive 55 cents. That's a pretty good EP right there. This is textbook. This is what you want to see for an EP. So let's see what happens. We're getting some follow through. All right. Oh, yeah, we would have gotten stopped out on that EP. You could have taken some profits in there, but like with an EP on that, you want it to run. But that is a huge down bar. I don't know if there was news. Oh, look at the main market. The main market took a plunge. So this EP probably would have worked great if the main market didn't have a really bad day. But it probably gives some opportunities to buy in this. So let's see what happens. Yeah, coming right back. Woo! Man, the main market just screwed people out of that. Okay, never mind. We're coming back in. We're getting real choppy. Starting to get some kind of range going here, but it's not really that tight, so I'm not super interested in it yet. Oh, man, yeah, very choppy. You notice how this day here, 603, that was like a get people in bullish, and then it just slammed it down. It opened below the low of that bar and just sold off for, can't really see it, 20%, something like that. Yeah. All right, we bounced off the 65, and now we're coming back to the highs, selling off. We got some tightness in here right above the 20, and this is technically a breakout day on very low volume, so it wouldn't be something I'd want to take. Yeah. All right, we got some tightness in here. Volume is really falling off. So main market's going down, and this is holding up. This is a great example of relative strength. As the market goes down, this goes sideways. That's a breakout day, all right? We are up. We broke out of this range at 1530. We didn't get to new highs, but the volume is confirming. I definitely want to be long this. Let's see. I mean, we could try another pullback buy at 1577 with a stop below. Yeah, let's do that. 1577 with a stop below 1537. So risk 40 cents. Let's see if we got it low. 1590. No, maybe the next day. Below 1586. Okay, so we would have got filled that day and immediately stopped out. So it looks like the breakout is failing. Coming back to the top of this range. Let's see if it bounces there and keeps going higher. Or if it gets back into this range, I wouldn't be surprised if we breach this 14 level. All right. Got to a low of 1429. Where it's finding some support. We got another earnings on the next day, so let's see what happens. The earnings was 12 cents, negative 12 cents. So the earnings in the previous July was negative 9 cents. So it's actually gotten worse. So we gapped down and then we rallied back up. Either way, I mean, we had this really big quarter in April, but it doesn't look like that's continuing. Let's see what happens. I mean, I would expect it to kind of go sideways here for a while or down as it kind of, I've been reading these Minervini books about earnings and how important it is that earnings accelerate and stuff like that. And, this would have been just kind of a big, cold, wet towel on the growth prospects, but it's holding up decently well. We opened at 13, retested it here, and now we've rallied back. So there's still buyers in here. It's still being bought up. Let's just see if we can get some just to digest. We want it to digest for a little while, which it's doing. It's going sideways. Whew, something happened this day. I don't know what happened that day, but it is up massively. How does it digest the move? Comes down to the 10, bounces off the 10, makes new highs there, but pulls back in, making new highs. Okay, and I think that now makes new all-time highs. Yeah, so we're at all-time highs here above this range. This grinding upwards isn't giving us a great entry, so there's not really much we can do as far as setups. I mean, what was the setup here? I guess the setup was this day. So you had like a 10 bar flag there and you could have bought this day and it's just been chopping higher. But you can see the character of it has just changed so much since back here when it was so orderly. Now it's tails, it's wicking. It's just, it's not as pretty for sure. I mean, part of me definitely wants it to come down. Oh my goodness. But it's not going to. So this was a flag, I guess, here, and man, just breaks out higher. Would you have seen this flag? Is this something you wanted to be a part of? Question mark. It's about 12 bars sideways. I don't know. Maybe. It had some inside days here, had inside days here, so it was definitely getting tighter here off this poor earnings. I don't know. I don't think I would have been looking at it, but it is consolidating at the highs. It's kind of like, by definition, what you want to see. Volume is pretty poor. So, yeah, I don't think it was wrong to not do anything, but maybe we'll get a setup here after it's really blasted off. There we go. Test the 20. All right, we got the earnings the next day. Yeah, this is definitely, if earnings are good, this would be something that you at least consider as an EP, although it's at the highs. It's not neglected like this. I mean, this was really the perfect EP, and the market kind of ruined it. But let's see what happens. Yeah, I mean, this would have been a nice blast off. Let's see, 70 cents was their actual earnings. Wow. So the October before, they were at negative 16 cents. Now they're at positive 70 cents. These guys, that is a big jump in earnings. And this EP looks like it's definitely following through a little bit, riding the 10. We're getting some sideways action here. This is something you could think about buying. I don't feel great about it. I mean, I just feel like it's choppy. This earnings was fantastic. So, I mean, we got to just trust the market. High earnings, high volume. Let's buy over this high at $27.75. All right. This is actually looking very constructive. 27. I'm going to do 27.50 as a buy because, I mean, I know this thing can just pop up at any minute. All right. We're under the 20. Reclaim the 20. Highs 28.2. So we would have been in at 27.50. Now, the real proper entry was just on the open of this day. So, I mean, this is actually a really decent flag here. Right underneath the moving average, it had a wedge pop where it pops over those moving averages, has a high volume day. The low is 26.51. So maybe you could have gotten in around 26.80 or something like that. That would have been the real entry. But again, we don't really know. We're not seeing when it's opening and stuff like that. We're just seeing the day after it's done. But that would have been the entry, 26.80 or 26.90 or something like that on that day, and some good follow through. But let's just say we're in at 27.50, not the greatest entry, and our stop is at the low at 26.50. So about 1 point of risk. See what happens. Just going sideways, pulling back in. So we've just gone sideways for 5 days. There we go. Let's get rid of half at the open. All right, so we got rid of half at the open of 28.55. So that was a 1 point of profit. I'm going to move my stop under this low at 27. So we're risking 50 cents now in the last half. Let's see how much run we can get. And I will say, since this earnings, it has been acting much more orderly. A lot more tight days, not this same choppiness we were getting back in here. So that orderliness tells me that there's institutions in here buying, accumulating slowly. Ugh. All right, so we've gotten stopped out for the last half at negative 50 cents. So we got a profit on half of $1, and the other half we took a 50-cent loss on. So I don't know, kind of a wash there in some ways. We got a little profit. Let's just say that we got a little profit. Coming back down to the 50. And we're going sideways. So again, looking for a wedge pop. If we pop up about at like 27.50, that's definitely a day we want to buy. Maybe the next day. Yeah, 27.50. If we get a wedge pop, I'm going to buy. Yeah, it didn't do it. Maybe we're trying again. There we go. All right, so we'd be in. Let's say, yeah, 27.40, 27.50-ish. Let's say we got in 27.40, 27.50, let's just say. And then let's have our stop be below this low, 25.62. So let's give it 2 points of room, see if we can get something going. Looking good. All right, we're going to get rid of half at the next day open, which was good. The next open was 29.13. So, we took almost 2 points of profit out. We're going to move our stop up to maybe 26.30. And we would have gotten stopped out probably there. Low, 25, yeah, 26.30. So took a point loss on half and 2 point gain on the other half. Just 2 steps forward, 1 step back, basically. But we're profitable on it, which is nice. This thing really hasn't had a huge run like we're used to. It's just been a very kind of choppy start and go stock. Moving average is super converging. All right, earnings the next day. Earnings the next day were huge, 16 cents, negative 16 cents. This was in February of 11. So the earnings for 10 were negative 15 cents, so we're 1 cent less, but the market likey, so it blasted higher. Let's see if we get kind of a change of character and maybe some tight action that we could get into. Woo! All right, gaps. I'm just comparing this action after this action. This action was much more orderly and nice, and we got some follow through there. This, not so much. We're getting helter-skelter in here. But I don't want to miss it, obviously. So, I don't know. I think we're going to get a breakout the next day, but I don't think it's going to be great. We did get a breakout, and it failed. Yes, and we went lower. I mean, sometimes you just get a sixth sense of this. Like, okay, look, the moving average is going up. It's higher lows in there, and then we gap higher, go a little bit higher, and then plunge down, and now we're below the 20. And maybe that's the washout we need. Let's see if we get continuation or sideways action. It looks like we're getting sideways. So any kind of wedge pop to 34, I want to be a part of. Like that. All right, in at 34. Stop below let's stop a little bit below this low of 32.75, just because it's just kind of getting crazy. Let's do 32.50, just so that if we plunge below it, intraday for like 1 cent just to stop people out, we're not stopped out. So let's do 25 cents below that low. We are looking good though. Let's see how we do at new highs. At new highs, I'm getting rid of 50% at like 36.70. Did we get out? High 36.96. All right, we're out of half at 36.70, so that's like 2.7 points of profit. The other half, we're going to just trail, move up that stop to 33 or so. Yeah, it's just doing the same exact thing it's been doing. Look at that. It almost looks like picture perfect of this same thing is that happened here is happening here. But yeah, close below the 10 and I'm out. All right, I'd be out here, close at 34.20, right around our entry. So half was profit, half was about break even. Yes, same exact playbook as this. Are we going to make new lows or are we going to be stronger this time? Let's see. No, we came right back. All right. And what was the low here? The low was 32.70. The low on that candle was 32.74. So that thing we were talking about just dipping below the low of this breakout candle, that ended up working out. If we'd have kept our original stop at 32.50, we would still be in if I hadn't moved the stop up. Something to think about for sure. All right, earnings the next day. Let's see. 34 cents was the actual. And the previous quarter was 55 cents. Let's see how we're doing. 31 minutes. All right, this one's going to be a long one. Very nice. Okay. Bouncing off the 50. Maybe doing another wedge pop here. This is not bad. This is a 22 bar range. We had a little bit of a shakeout day down here to the 50. I don't feel great about this, but yeah, let's just trust the market. Let's do, if we have a wedge pop up to like 40, I want to be long. We did not. That feeling was correct. All right, we came down to the 100. Oh, wow, we broke below it, then come back above. Are we going to go touch the 200? Making a little bit of a range here. Came right back through all the moving averages. So this was constructive for sure. Main market came down too, so it was probably feeling a little bit of weakness from that. Let's see if maybe we can get some kind of setup, some sideways action or something. Well, we got sideways action we asked for. Is this orderly enough that you'd want to take like a 5-bar little mini flag here as a breakout above like 39.75? Sure, why not? 39.75, let's buy. All right, never mind. There we go. So the buy point would be 38.60, but let's see, the high was 39.71. So we actually didn't get filled. Let's see if we can get a pullback at 38.80 to buy. Let's see what the low was there. 38.74. All right, we got long at 38.80. Our stop's going to be below this big bar, a low at 37, 36.99 technically, but let's say 37, 38.80. So $1.80 risk. Yeah, all right. We went up. Earnings is the next day. So technically, we would probably get out of half at least on the close of this bar, 41.58. So we didn't call it, but because earnings is the next day, we would definitely size down. I mean, if this thing surprises to the downside, I mean, it could open at 30 and we would just get annihilated. So let's take off half at 41.58. So yeah, nice 2-point profit almost. Let's see how earnings are treated. Earnings are treated well. Earnings was 19 cents. Previous quarter was negative 12 cents, so that's a really nice bump. Let's see what it does. We're in half, so let's just, I'm finding trailing with this stock is just a crappy thing to do. You just want to get out because every time it has one of these pops, it just, you want to get out here and not suffer that. But we'll trail it with the 20 and we'll see what happens. See what it does with the 10. It's kind of respecting the 10. I mean, we did get a pop and a bounce up here, but I'm going to move my stop to 41.70. Wow. Low 42.09. Yeah. 41.80 is my stop. We would have been stopped out for sure. So 41.80, that was actually a nice profitable trade, about 2 points. So yeah, not bad. It's getting very, now that is a good exit right in there. And I kind of knew it was acting weird because it didn't just hit this 10 and go right up. Like the strongest stocks will hit that 10, and as soon as they hit it the next day, they're off to the races. And this tried. It hit the 10 here and it gapped up, but it didn't do well after this little gap up and then crap. It didn't give me confidence. It's like, all right, we're going to the 20. If the 10 isn't working, we're going to the 20. And from what I know of this stock, it doesn't stop at the 20 ever. It always goes below the 20. It always goes down to one of these longer moving averages. And now it's breaking below and going for the 200. All right, we hit the 200. All right. Now we're above all the moving averages. Was there a setup in here? Not really one that I'm seeing. Maybe you're seeing trades that I'm not. Like this is kind of a nice, like, I don't know, it's like a rising wedge or something like that, which tends to break down hard, but, we'll see. The whole market has come down, which again is probably why this thing is suffering. Yep, there's the down move from that rising wedge. Just so you guys know, like, I don't know if it's going to allow me to do this because it always tries to snap to. Okay, come on. Like this pattern here tends to break downwards. It does not tend to break up. They tend to break downwards, and that's exactly what happened. So we'll just leave that. Back down to the 200, below the 200. All right, earnings the next day. Earnings the next day are 42 cents. So the previous quarter was 70 cents. So the earnings are going lower. And just in general, we have $0.79 for this year is the earnings, and the previous year was 98 cents. So year over year, our earnings have fallen. Now the previous year, 09 to 10, was amazing. It went from negative, 25 or negative 30 cents to 98 cents. So that was an amazing year, but this is not doing so hot. Wow, that was nice. That was definitely a breakout, but I mean, is this pattern something you want to be a part of? It's not tight. It's getting very loosey-goosey. I mean, you remember how orderly it was back then, and look at it now. It's just, ugh. Yeah, did not respect that. Oh, yeah, we're breaking lower. All right, we're building out some kind of range. We're getting into 2012 here. I think we still have time, but this was a pattern here. Again, I don't super like these flags that are right underneath the 200 MA, but let's see what it does. All right, so we're making a flag now. A lot of volume. Is this flag worth taking? Is it worth taking a short flag here of 10 bars? Lower volume. I mean, I think if we get up to 42.50, I think we take it. 42.50 would be a buy. Was this a buy? High. 42.50. Yeah, that would have been a buy. Stop. I'm not going to give it a ton of space. Will be the low of this bar here, 39.96. So 2.5 point stop or so. Looking good. Yeah, I'm getting rid of half on the open. All right. The open was 43.02, so 50-cent profit on half. Not great. I'm going to move my stop up to 41.25-ish. And the reason you move your stop up is because the farther it goes higher, the more it's going to plunge if it pulls back, in general, for a stock. Now, if it stock's really orderly, it's just going to go higher and it's going to go sideways. So moving up your stop really doesn't matter. But if it's not orderly, if there's not that buying support from institutions, it's going to go up and then it's going to plunge when those buyers run out. So that's why we're moving our stop up to, 41, what did I say, 41.20. Like so. Low, 40.6. All right, we got stopped out at 41.20. So, what was that? Like 2-point profit and maybe 1-point loss. Again, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Came back down. Oh, all right. Earnings came out -5 cents. So earnings are definitely, those are actually better. The previous quarter's earnings were -16 cents, and before that, -15 cents. But this is getting very choppy. Very high volume on this day, that is for sure. Let's see what happens. See if it gets unleashed. Is this a flag here? It's kind of looking like a flag. The poll is only 47%, but this is starting to look like something of a flag. Maybe something like this. Not something I super want to buy unless it goes sideways for a few more days. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to buy over 42.15, let's say. Oh man, never mind. I think, wow, this is just a really nice kind of trend line that just got going here. And it might break out the next day, so I'm buying it. If we pop up higher, I'm definitely getting involved. If it doesn't pop up, if it just kind of goes higher, 41.65, let's say. There we go, 41.65, we're in. High volume breakout day. Well, not that high volume, but decent. Sideways. That's not a good sign. All right, we probably would have been stopped out there. Yeah, definitely would have been out there. So a stop. So yeah, breakout's not working on this thing. Oh, earnings, $1.48. 1.48. Previous earnings were 34 cents. $1.48 in that quarter alone. They doubled last year's earnings, just about. Amazing. The whole year, but this one quarter they doubled it. Huge pop up and crap. This would have been a good EP, but it probably never would have triggered. It just opened at the highs and just went straight down all day, right back into range. Yeah, we should definitely go lower from this, right? I mean, if it can't go up on just such a huge earnings report, yeah, we should be going down. All right, we're trying again. Oh, my. Oh, my. All right, I think we're done. Let's zoom out a little bit. So this was the run that we were on. And yeah, you can see it just keeps going down to where it is today. But this was basically the run in its entirety. This is starting over here at 09. We started right around in this area, and it had some good, movements, but in general, this was not an easy stock to trade. It was always 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, and I think if I were a better trader, I would have clued in on that, but something in my mind was always thinking like, oh, this is going to make a big move. I would have clued in on that. Let me just, I would have clued in on the fact that you just need to sell most of your position after it ran for a few days. And trailing with the 10 or 20 did not work well with this stock at all. It would always come down to lower moving averages, and that's just a part of the character of the stock, it was very orderly back here in the beginning, and it had some great setups. And yeah, it was one of those things that you just wanted to exit into strength. The ADR for most of this was 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7, 8. So it would have been a definitely on your radar. The interesting thing about this is the best earnings, which was here, was kind of the mark of the high. This pop-up was like, yeah, that's it. We're done. This is going to be the high in earnings, and we're just coming down from here. And that was really telling in here, because it was like, if we can't go up off an amazing earnings, like this stock is going down, right? This stock has got to be going down. 43 cents, 17 cents, 66 cents here. It popped up. 43 cents, 13 cents, 11 cents. So yeah, earnings just deteriorated. 2010, 2011, that was when the earnings were really accelerating from the years before. So it was kind of like almost a turnaround story in some ways. So anyway, that's it for this video. A little bit longer than usual, but I think there was some really good stuff in this one to learn. And if you liked it, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you would take different trades. I think the biggest thing I learned from this was just if it's telling you that it's not following through, just exit into strength. You know, like I said, part of my mind was like, oh, this thing's going to have an amazing run. Like it goes up 1,800% or some ridiculous amount. This is the monthly chart. I mean, from its lows, it goes up 2,000%. So I'm thinking, man, this thing's going to have some kind of great run. This is a monthly chart of ACTG, and so you can just see, man, it just has this huge run, but it wasn't as easy to trade as things that were more parabolic. It just, yeah. I didn't have my screen shared. Sorry about that. This is the monthly chart right here that I was talking about, and it goes up like 2,000%. Anyway, we'll call it there. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.